Two career insights that open new possibilities. Hey, Rigo here. Welcome to the first video of this 3-video series about how to have a rewarding career without having a steady paycheck. During our time together, I'll offer two key insights, a model, and the 5 factors that lead to career success. Each video is 5 to 7 minutes, so let's get busy. You can probably relate to this guy. Man, was he optimistic and ambitious. And he had 3 other attributes as well. He was financially motivated. He wasn't shallow, it's just that he wanted the things and experiences in life that only money can buy. He was also self-directed, someone who wanted to control his own schedule. And he was willing to sacrifice to maintain that sense of personal freedom. A commission-based brokerage position with a prestigious firm proved to be a good place to start for our freshly minted first-generation college graduate. And he had some success in those early years. But long deal cycles and a lack of structure began to take a toll. He struggled with boredom and wanted some stability. Because of this boredom and desire for stability, he left the commission-based position to accept a salary-based job offered by a recruiter who'd heard about his early successes. Unfortunately, he'd failed to realize that boredom is an element of mastery. He'd also conveniently overlooked the fact that with the right to collect that salary that provided stability, came the obligation to do what he was told. And that didn't sit well with his desire for personal freedom. The job that was supposed to provide that stability went away when he didn't survive the company's 3rd reorganization in 4 years. The second salary-based job came along before severance ran out, but then 9 months later that company lost their biggest client, unemployed again. A 3rd salary-based job that emerged after some downtime lasted just over 18 months. Yet another job, a 4th salary-based job, went away after just 3 years. Again, the company lost their biggest client. A total of 4 jobs evaporated over the course of about 8 years. The downtime between all these lost jobs provided opportunity for reflection and discovery, which led to better actions. Better actions led to better outcomes. Awards came in. Certifications were earned that distinguished him from the competition. In short, this guy found his lane. The willingness to turn inward and ask for help led to 2 key insights, the creation of a model and the discovery of the 5 factors that lead to career success. 2 insights, 1 model, and 5 factors. In this first video, we'll talk about the 2 insights. In the second video, we'll talk about the model. In the third video, we'll talk about the 5 factors. These can all be used together to help you have a rewarding career without having a steady paycheck. It was the shock of the first job loss that brought in the first of the 2 insights needed to point toward a better approach to work and life. This first insight was so simple: liquidity. There are 2 financial metrics you should always keep top of mind: your burn rate and your go broke date. Like solid businesses, solid households need a foundation of working capital, some of which needs to be liquid. Quantifying your liquidity level by knowing your burn rate and go broke date forces you to focus. Let's highlight this first insight about your burn rate and go broke date with a little show and tell here. Take a look at this spreadsheet created after the first job loss. It's important to notice how thorough this was. Only by being thorough can you know your true burn rate. The financial baseline was clear because of the severance package. It was also clear what was coming in because of the unemployment benefits, a few fees from pending assignments, and rent from 2 roommates. Oh, did I mention this dude was not only unemployed, but also recently divorced after the first job loss? Yeah, he was doing a great job at this point of serving as a bad example. Using a little 8th grade math and clarity about burn rate, the go broke date was pretty easy to calculate. There was time, a specific amount of time, before hitting the wall financially if something else didn't come along. Knowing your burn rate and go broke date helps you to face reality and forces you to make the necessary adjustments. You'll be more relaxed and confident. This is really important because the decision makers who determine outcomes want to deal with people who are relaxed and confident in dealing in reality. Liquidity helps us avoid being uptight and full of self-doubt. Memory came back that the recruiter who'd been involved in the first salary-based job had been reached out specifically because of success in the commission-based brokerage position. Working with probably 10 different clients in the last year as a commission-based broker had provided a diverse portfolio in terms of sources of income. Accepting the salary-based job meant having only one source of income, the employer. There had been a shift from no floor on income, but also no ceiling, to a floor on income, but also a ceiling. The salary-based job was the chosen vehicle at the time for achieving security. Here's what Helen Keller, a woman born without the ability to hear and see, had to say about security. Security is mostly superstition. It does not exist in nature, nor did the children of men as a whole experience it. Avoiding danger is no safer in the long run than outright exposure, close quote. It was the instability of all those job losses that finally brought about the second key insight: diversification. Some of us are wired to add value by executing assignments for multiple clients, not by performing tasks defined by a single employer. Diversifying among different sources of income can be an alternative to the traditional way of thinking about a sense of security. This insight is especially profitable if you find, as he did, that you have a skill for bringing people together for high-value financial transactions. To be clear, having a single client and therefore a single source of income, in other words, being employed at a regular job, makes you normal in our culture. The BLS says that only about 1 in 10 people in the U.S. are self-employed. And when you wake up every day self-employed, you're really unemployed. It's not true for most people, but for some it becomes oddly comforting to know you can no longer be fired from the tasks you were performing for your single employer. You don't have one. Instead, you have diversified by executing assignments for multiple clients. That's your security. By the time this guy showed up, these insights about the need for liquidity and importance for diversification were fully intact. But something else was needed: a model. We'll talk about that model in the second video, which you'll receive Wednesday. Thanks, and I look forward to seeing you then.